All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, too. This is Katie. I just want to remind you all to listen to your bodies today. Keep some water nearby and don't push anything that's uncomfortable. We'll work through it and find something to adapt it to make it better for you. Let's go ahead and start. I want you in a neutral standing position, feet under hips, toes forward, and we're going to do some arms swings. So we'll be going forward and backward with our arms. I want you to go reach the arms up overhead, and then I just want you to drop them and swing them behind you. And you can have a little bend in your knees if you want, but we're just swinging the arms up and down. Start to breathe with your arms. You can take them up and down at whatever pace you like. I like to inhale as I reach up, exhale as I swing them down. Good. Keep it going. A couple more here. Just changing it up. Good. And last one. All right, we can bring our arms back down by our sides. Our next stretch is called the swaying palm tree. I want you to leave your arms down by your sides and just let them be loose. And I'm going to have you keep your feet planted. We're just going to turn our chest and torso and hips to the right. Let our arms just swing. And then we'll turn to the left and just let our arms continue to swing. So just keep your arms loose. Feels good, just a gentle twist of the torso. Let your arms be free, like a swaying palm tree. Kind of just feeling that gentle twisting of the shoulders and the hips. And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and bring everything back to center. Let your arms fall back down by your sides. We're going to do some nice slow glute kicks. So you can have your hands on your hips or in an external support source nearby. And 1 foot at a time, we're just going to kick right heel towards right glutes, put the foot back down, and then left heel to left glutes. So nice slow motion glute kicks. Just 1 foot at a time, glute kicks. Starting to warm up the knee joints. Continuing to take those big breaths in. Just a few more glute kicks here. And 3, 2, 1. Let's transition into hamstring scoops. So I'll have you step your right foot out in front of you, heel down into the floor, toes up towards the ceiling. And then just gently tracing your fingertips down that right leg until you get nice and close to your foot or you feel a nice stretch along the back side of your right leg. Then you'll scoop your body, your torso back to upright. Step the right foot back underneath you. Repeat on the left side. So left foot steps out, fingertips trace down the leg, and rise back up to standing. And just alternate between the right and left sides, stretching the back sides of the legs. This nice dynamic flow movement. Make sure we're breathing. I like to inhale as I stand up, exhale as I reach down my leg. And hopefully, as your body gets warmed up, as it gets used to the movement, you're able to get a little deeper into the stretch. Good. Just a couple more here. And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and finish the one you're on. Rise yourself back up to neutral standing. We're going to do some of our pelvic tilting. So I want you to place your hands on your hips. Just gently wrap them around, keeping your feet planted where they're at. We're just going to basically do the motion of a cat-cow. I want you to push your pelvis forward, kind of rounding your back. And then I want you to push your pelvis backwards and arch your back and just alternate between those two pelvic tilts. We call it anterior and posterior tilting. And we're just feeling all that musculature around your pelvis, the abdominals, the hamstrings, the glutes, how they all move the pelvis. Kind of using your hands as a gentle guide, pushing them forward and backward. Good, just a couple more. And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and bring that pelvis back to center or neutral. We're going to do 2 of our sun salutations before we get into a different kind of flow. So starting from that neutral standing position, we'll go ahead and inhale. Take our arms wide out to the sides and reach them up overhead. Then we're going to exhale into a forward fold, reaching our fingertips and hands down towards our feet or the floor. We're going to inhale, take our hands to our shins and flatten out our back for a half lift, kind of pushing the shoulders back and down towards your hips. Exhale back into a full forward fold. And we'll take a big inhale as we reach our arms out to the sides and overhead once again, bringing our palms together as we exhale and lower them in front of our face and into our chest. And let's go one more here. Inhale, arms reaching out and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Just letting your shoulders and arms hang, feeling a stretch along the backside of the legs. Inhale, take the hands to the shins for a half lift. Exhale, back to that forward fold. Seeing if you were able to get a little lower than last time. And let's inhale, rising ourselves all the way back up, reaching nice and high, palms together. Exhale and lower them into your face and chest. Beautiful. All right. We're going to continue in this standing flow. So we can let our arms come down by our sides. And then I want you to take a nice wide stance. So step your feet 1 to 2 steps outside of your hips. We're going to do some of our Cossack rocks or kind of wide lunge rocks. So go ahead and lower, bending at the knees. I want you to lower your hips just slightly. So you're in about a quarter squat in that wide standing position. And I just want you to rock all your weight over into that right leg, bending the right knee, and then you're straightening out the left leg. So you'll feel a nice stretch in your inner thigh area. And then gently switch to the other side, rocking your weight over into that left leg, straightening out the right leg, and just switch between those two. Cossack rocks, great hip stretch, inner thigh stretch. Your hands can rest on your hips, or you can even take your elbows to your thighs to kind of push your knees out wider. Good. And let's go ahead and come to the center of that wide stance. And if you didn't already have your elbows on your thighs, go ahead and bring your elbows to your thighs. And just stay in the middle of your wide stance. You can kind of squat down a little further if you want. And just gently push, use your elbows to kind of push your knees apart. We'll just hold for a few seconds, a few breaths. Opening up the pelvis. And let's go ahead and release that. You can bring yourself back up to standing. Step your feet back together. So feet are under hips, neutral standing position. We're going to do some of our standing side bends. So from that neutral standing position, let's go ahead and raise our right arm up overhead. I'm going to place my left hand on my left hip. I'm going to gently guide my hips over to the right as I reach my right hand overhead to the left. So a nice standing side bend and reach. And then I'll come back to center. Right hand will go to right hip. Left arm raises up. Left hand reaches overhead to the right. Hips get pushed over to the left. Just gentle. We're not forcing anything. And then just go ahead and alternate between right and left leans. So we want to keep our chest forward, nose forward. And try to take those big exhales as you reach. Feeling all that musculature in your torso, your back, your abs, your obliques. Just get stretched out. Good. Continue to breathe. And go ahead and finish the bend you're on. And then you can come back to center standing. Let your arms fall down by your sides. Let's go back into that wide stance. So stepping the feet 1 to 2 steps outside of your hips. Toes are facing forward. We're going to go into a triangle stretch. So from this wide standing position, I want you to take your left toes and point them now to the left. Right toes are still pointing forward. Let's go ahead and inhale and take both of our arms out to the sides from our shoulders. And then we're just going to hinge at the hips, taking the left hand down towards the left foot. Right hand rises up towards the ceiling. Triangle stretch. You can take your nose to face your right hand towards the ceiling. Great stretch for the back. Opens up the hip and the inner thigh. Good. Just take a couple breaths here. Breathe, relax. Might feel some tightness in that back, the QL muscles.
Katie, which way does our hand face when we do the triangle stretch? I've always wanted to know.
Yes, great question. Palms are going to face away from you. So forward.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Great question. Thank you. Good. Let's take one more big breath here. And on your next inhale, let's go ahead and raise ourselves back up to standing. You can let your arms fall, shake out the shoulders. Let's turn our left foot to have the toes facing forward again. And now let's take the right foot and point the toes out to the right. We're going to switch sides. So we'll inhale, raise the arms out to the sides from our shoulders, hinge at the hips, take right hand down towards right foot, left hand will rise towards the ceiling, palms face forward, nose can turn up to face your left hand. Once again, we're feeling that stretch in our inner thigh and our back. Good, just a couple more breaths. And on your next inhale, go ahead and raise yourself back up to standing. Let your arms fall, and we can step our feet back underneath our hips, toes forward. Let's go into a chest opener stretch next. So staying standing here, we'll go ahead and interlace our fingers behind our back. And then we're going to pull the shoulders back and open the chest up, kind of take it towards the ceiling. Arms might stay along our backside, or we may have the flexibility to kind of lift them off of our backside, kind of pull them away and maybe towards the wall behind us. Go ahead and take your nose up towards the ceiling. And you can gently rock your head left to right. Maybe drawing a little half circle with your head. But pay attention to your lower back here if you feel it arching a lot. Tuck your pelvis, kind of reset the pelvis so that your lower back isn't being strained during this stretch. Good. Opening up the shoulders is a great thing to do daily. We have become chronic poor posture people. A lot of sitting, computers. Good. Just a couple more breaths here. And let's release those fingers, let your arms fall back down by your sides. We're going to do some forward shoulder rolls. So arms can stay relaxed down by your sides, and we're just moving the shoulders up towards our ears, pushing them forward, pulling them down, and then pulling them behind us. So just a shoulder roll. If it's uncomfortable to shrug or do both shoulders at once, you can do it swimmer style, so just one shoulder at a time. Kind of looks like you're doing a little funky dance move. Just continuing those forward shoulder rolls. Breathing. And let's reverse those shoulder rolls now, taking them backwards. So shrugging them up, pulling them back, pushing them down, and pushing them forward. Kind of just feeling everything around, not only the shoulders, but the neck and chest muscles, how they move with your shoulder. How it might be easier to pull them back, or it might be easier to push them forward. Sometimes that can tell you things about your muscle balances. Good. Continue to breathe. Loosen up the shoulders. And let's go ahead and pause those shoulder rolls. Let them relax. And we're just going to go into a nice, gentle forward fold. So feet slightly outside of your hips, toes facing forward. Take a big inhale and then exhale as you lean forward, hinge at the waist, reach your hands down towards the floor. We have a slight bend in our knees. We don't want our legs fully locked out, but we still want to feel that stretch in the backside of the leg. And option to just stay here in the standard forward fold, or you can do a little ragdoll twist if you want to do that. I'll have you take your right hand to your left elbow and your left hand to your right elbow, and then just gently kind of swing your arms right to left, kind of drawing a figure 8 with your elbows. Good, and let's go ahead and release that ragdoll. And I want you to bend your knees a little bit more and take your hands all the way to the floor. So your hands are flat on the floor, knees are bent. And from here, we're going to transition into a world's greatest stretch or a deep lunge. So if we're going to go into the world's greatest stretch, I just want you to step your right leg back, toes down into the floor. So right leg is straight. And then I want you to take your left foot between your hands. So only thing that's on the floor is your left foot is flat. Both of your hands are flat. And then you're on your kind of right toes and that extended leg behind you. If you're doing the deep lunge, all I want you to do is drop that right knee down to the floor. So now your knee and your shin are down on the floor if you're doing the deep lunge. All right. So if you're in either stretch, I want you to go ahead and raise the right hand off of the floor. Turn your chest to the right and take those right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And you can always start in the world's greatest stretch and then go down to a deep lunge. It can be a tough one to hold. I just dropped to a deep lunge. Good. Take a couple more breaths. And on your next breath, go ahead and bring that right hand back down to the floor. Chest and nose are facing the floor again. And let's step that right foot up between our hands. And we'll switch sides. So now we'll step the left foot back behind us, either keeping a straight leg, toes down in the floor for that world's greatest stretch, or dropping the left knee down to the floor for deep lunge. All right. So once we've found that starting position, go ahead and raise the left hand off of the floor. Turn the chest and nose to the left. Take that left hand up towards the ceiling, fingertips to the ceiling. Great stretch for our hips. Getting a little core work in here as well and balance. Once again, it's always okay to start in the deep lunge or make your way to the deep lunge. And on your next breath, go ahead and bring that left hand back down to the floor. Chest and nose face the floor. I want you to go ahead and bring your right knee around. So now it's met your left knee. We're in a tabletop position. So tabletop, our knees are planted on the floor under our hips. Feet are trailing behind your knees. And my wrists, elbows, shoulders are all stacked. Back is nice and flat. We're going to transition into a down dog from this tabletop. So let's go ahead and walk our hands away from our shoulders forward. We'll tuck the toes under the foot and we will inhale as we raise the knees off of the floor and take the hips up towards the ceiling. Down dog stretch. Or we can always do a puppy stretch where we just walk our hands further away from us, keep our hips up in the air, and just kind of take our chest down towards the floor. All right, so down dog or puppy. Good. Feeling that nice release. If you're in that down dog and it's a little uncomfortable, I recommend trying to pedal your heels one at a time, just alternating, pushing the right heel down towards the floor, let the left heel rise, and switch. And on your next breath, I want you to take your right knee and bring it up to plant it between your hands. We're going into a pigeon stretch. So once you've planted that right knee down to the floor, your left leg should drop to the floor as well. So your left leg is your trail leg. Pigeon stretch. You can stay here, just kind of folded over that right thigh and right knee. Or if you have that flexibility, you can take your right shin parallel to the top of the mat. I don't quite have that mobility, so I'm going to stay folded. You can drop down your forearms if you'd like and just hang out. And this is your reminder, if you forgot about your breath, try to continue to breathe in through your nose. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and bring the hands back to either side of our right knee. Let's tuck the back left toes. Push ourselves back up into that down dog. And we'll switch sides now, bringing the left knee down between both hands, letting the right leg fall, trail behind us. Pigeon stretch left side. And feel free to drop down your forearms and just fold over that left leg. Taking deep breaths. Good. Feel your body melt and relax. On your next breath, let's go ahead and bring the hands back to either side of the knee. And let's just push that left knee back and come back to a tabletop position. Hands are flat, planted in the mat, knees are planted under our hips. And we're going to do some cat-cow mobility exercises. So from this tabletop, we're in that flat back position or neutral. We'll go ahead and arch the back, tilt the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Take your nose towards the ceiling for cow. And we're inhaling as we do that. Then we're going to exhale, round the back, push the hips forward, and really push away from our palms, opening up the shoulders. And we'll alternate between those two, cat and cow. Inhale with your cow. Exhale with your cat. This is just one of those great, simple mobility exercises that will keep your hips healthy. Good. Continue to take those breaths. Let's go one more here. And let's bring ourselves back to neutral tabletop. We're going to do a little calf stretch. We'll start on the right side. I just want you to straighten out your right leg. Keep your right toes planted in the floor. And then we're just going to push our right heel behind us, towards the wall behind us. Kind of imagining someone's tied a band to your right ankle and they're kind of gently pulling your foot or your heel away from your hips. Should feel a nice gentle stretch in the left calf muscles. And if you want to add a gentle pump, kind of pushing the heel forward and backward, feel free. And on your next breath, go ahead and bring that right knee back down underneath the hips. And we'll switch sides, extending the left leg back straight, planting left toes into the floor, and pushing that left heel back to the wall behind us. And hold static at first. We'll add the little pump shortly. Go ahead and add that pump if you'd like. Kind of gently taking the heel forward and backwards. On your next breath, let's go ahead and bring that left knee back in underneath the hip. From here, let's go ahead and widen our knees out for a child's pose. Option if you need a little extra pillow or blanket or something to put underneath your bottom, kind of between your knees, feel free to do so. From there, let's go ahead and sink our hips back towards our heels. Walk our hands away from our hips. Child's pose stretch. Great stretch for the shoulders, the back, the hips. And we're going to thread the needle to give the shoulders a little more stretch. So keeping your left arm extended, I want you to take your right fingertips, right hand, raise it off of the floor, and then thread it between your left elbow and left knee, kind of gently twisting your upper back and shoulders and nose to the left. Really reaching that right hand through. Continue to breathe. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and bring that right arm back. We'll reach it back out in front of us for that stretch. And we'll switch the left hand in, keeping the right arm extended. We'll take the left hand, thread it between right knee and right elbow, reaching it through, gently turning our upper back, shoulders, and nose to the right. And just relax. Keep your mind centered to your breathing. And on your next breath, let's bring that left arm back, reach it back out in front of us, and we can gently push ourselves out of that child's pose back into a tabletop. And we'll actually make our way into a seated position on the mat. Finding a comfortable way to get seated. We're going to start with a nice wide-legged forward fold. So our legs are outstretched in front of us. And then I want you to take your legs wide outside of your hips. Toes are up towards the ceiling. Let's take a big inhale. We're going to reach both arms up overhead as high as we can, stretching the spine. Then we're going to exhale, fold ourselves over, taking both hands down towards the left foot. You might land on your knee or your shin or your ankle or your foot. All depends on the range you have. And let's just stretch here for a second. Good. And with every exhale, if you can stretch a little further than before. And let's begin to inhale. Raise ourselves back to upright seated, one vertebrae at a time. And let that air out, release. And we'll inhale. Reach both arms up overhead again, as high as you can. And then we'll exhale now, folding over to the right. And let's go ahead and inhale and roll yourself back up to upright seated, one vertebrae at a time. And we're going to do half butterfly. So I want you to take your left foot and bring it in towards your torso, and bottom of your left foot's going to go to the inside of your right thigh. So half butterfly here. Right leg stays extended. Option to stay here if that feels good, or if you want to add a little forward fold again, you'll take both hands towards that right foot. So now we're feeling not only the stretch in that back of the right leg, but the left hip and glutes are getting a little more opened up. And if this is uncomfortable, I recommend putting a little bit of support under that left knee, maybe a pillow, maybe another yoga mat, just to kind of reduce the amount of gravity that's being placed on that knee. Good. Continue to take those breaths. And let's begin to inhale. Raise ourselves back to upright seated, one vertebrae at a time. And let's switch sides. We'll extend the left leg back out long. Left toes go towards the ceiling. Right foot is going to come in towards our torso. Bottom of the right foot lands on the inside of the left thigh. Half butterfly. Option to just stay here if it feels good. Or you can take that big inhale and exhale, reaching both hands towards the left foot now. And as I've mentioned before, some stretches might be easier on one side than the other. That's nothing to be angry about. All it shows is that you're tighter on one side than you are on the other. And that could be due to previous injuries, perhaps new injuries, all sorts of reasons you could be out of balance. Good. Continue to breathe. And let's go ahead and inhale, slowly raising yourselves back to upright seated. And let's go for that full butterfly. So let's bring the left foot in to meet the bottom of the right foot. So the bottoms of both of our feet are together. Our knees have fallen out to the sides. Full butterfly stretch. And I want you to sit up straight, pull your shoulders back. And then we'll gently take our right hand to rest on the floor behind our backs. We'll take our left hand to the top of our right knee. We'll just gently twist ourselves to the right. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and release those arms, come back to center. Take a nice big inhale, reset your shoulders, sit up nice and straight. And then we'll take our left hand behind our back. Right hand will come to the top of your left knee, gently twisting shoulders and nose to the left. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and come back to center. And then we're gently going to lie ourselves down onto our backs. You can keep the butterfly legs if you want, or you can outstretch your legs in front of you. Both are great options, but we are coming down onto our backs. Let's take a nice deep breath once we get down here. And if you stayed in that butterfly, go ahead and outstretch your legs now. And let's take a nice big inhale as we bring our right knee up into our chest. Meet it with our hands and give it a nice big hug. And we'll add some ankle circles. We'll go clockwise to start. Just as you hug that right knee in, just drawing a nice circle with the toes of your right foot. And let's switch to counterclockwise or left. And let's pause the ankle circles. And I actually want you to draw a nice small circle with your knee now. So as you're hugging it into your chest, you're just kind of drawing a nice little circle, kind of feeling how your femur rolls around in that hip socket. Not forcing anything that's uncomfortable. It should feel good. Let's go ahead and switch the direction, taking the circle the other way now. And let's take a nice big inhale, pull the knee up close, and we'll exhale, release that right leg back out straight. And we'll inhale, bringing the left knee now up into our chest, giving it a big hug. And let's start those ankle circles now with our left ankle, left toes, clockwise. And let's switch those ankle circles counterclockwise. And let's pause the ankle circles and start drawing those small, gentle knee circles. Still hugging the knee, but just letting it have a little freedom to roll around in the socket. And let's switch the direction of that circle we were drawing. And let's go ahead and inhale. Squeeze the knee in tight. And exhale, release it out long. We're going to go ahead and do some nice calming wrist stretches. So I want you to go ahead and you can extend your arm up to the ceiling if you'd like, or you can just keep your arms close to your chest. Main thing is I want you to grab your right fingertips with your left hand, and I just want you to pull point your palm away from your face and pull your fingertips towards your face. Now let's reverse that stretch. So I want you to take your fingertips, take your palm down to the floor to face the floor, and then just gently using that left hand to guide the wrists or the fingertips. And let's go ahead and release that wrist stretch, and we'll switch it to the left side. We'll take left palm facing away from us, and then we'll take those right hand, grab the left fingertips and pull them towards our face. Just feeling a great stretch in that forearm area. And let's go ahead and switch, holding the wrist or hand forward, taking the palm down towards the floor. And again, using that right hand to guide the stretch, support the stretch. There's all sorts of little muscles that move your hand. We don't want to neglect them. And let's go ahead and release that left wrist. We can bring our hands down to rest on our belly, or you can do cactus or goalpost arms, whatever feels good or what you want to do today. If you're doing goalpost arms, you're taking your arms out to the right and left from your shoulders, and then you're bending at the elbow, taking your fingertips up towards the top of your head. So pick where you would like to place your arms. We're going to bring the knees up towards the ceiling, feet flat on the floor. We're going to do a nice gentle lumbar twist. So we're going to drop both knees down over to the left. And then we're going to turn our nose to the right. And just breathe and relax. Let yourself melt into the floor. And on your next breath, go ahead and bring your nose back towards the ceiling. We'll squeeze the abs and gently bring the knees back up to center. Take a nice big inhale at the top, and then we'll exhale. Gently drop both knees now over to the right and turn your nose to the left. And let's go ahead and inhale. Gently bringing the knees back to center. We'll roll ourselves up to seated, one vertebrae at a time. And last but not least, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. I hope you had a great restorative stretch session today. I was happy to be with you all. I hope you have a great week